Okay guys, so we're now going to look at 12 and 13, but one thing I am going to tell you guys in class is on these, I want you guys to find the exact values using the unit circle between 0 and 2 pi, but I also want you to find, I want you guys to find all solutions, and I will bring this up before the end, but the things you need to fully get to follow these questions appropriately will be, as I'm trying to find paper. Okay, I found paper. So you need to understand the following items. So if we're talking about exact answers and we're talking about the unit circle, these are your four corners to worry about and know. So there'd be pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 0 to 2 pi. Understand that the sine of any angle is going to be positive in this quadrant, positive in this quadrant, but the signs will be negative and negative. Also realize that the cosine, since it's the distance from the y-axis, which is your x values, it'll be positive here, and then negative in these two quadrants. And last, tangent, if looking at the coordinate plane, in quadrant 1 it's positive because it'd be sine over cosine, and in quadrant 3 it's positive because it'd be sine over cosine. In the other two pieces it's negative. Now you might want to rewind this to this and take note of this, but I'm going to go through this as if you understand this concept. So talking about two types of answers that I will ask you guys to find on these, just to save a little bit of effort because you will have it on the test. We're going to solve this equation. So I'm going to kind of write it over here. We're going to do 2 sine of theta plus 5. And what we're going to do is talk about the answers between 0 less than or equal to theta less than or equal to 2 pi. But then we're also going to talk about the concept of what if the question asks for all solutions. So 2x plus 5 is equal to 4. We'll subtract 5, and you'll be left with 2 sine of theta is equal to negative 1. Divide both sides by 2, and we'll have theta is equal, or sine of theta is equal to negative 1/2. So what does this mean for us? Get a scrap sheet of paper for this. So the idea here, so if I want to know where sine of an angle is equal to negative 1/2, I'd be looking at quadrants 3 and 4. There's an angle here, and then there's an angle here. Sine is based off your pi over 6's, so this would be at 7 pi over 6, and the other one would be at 11 pi over 6. They're side by side, so there's no real pattern. There's only a pattern if they are across from each other, but this time there's not one. So if I ask you all the angles between 0 and 2 pi, you would say that it is at theta would equal 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. And yeah, no circling, but we're good. If I was asking for all solutions though, we would be looking at two different intervals. 7 pi over 6 plus 2 pi n, since there's no pattern and it repeats all the time. And then theta equals 11 pi over 6 plus 2 pi n, but then you have to define where n is any integer. So let's do one that's a little bit more complex, number 13. We are going to find the cosine of both, so we would be doing the cosine, or factor out cosine of theta, and we'd be left with cosine of theta plus 1. So we want to know where cosine of theta is equal to 0, and where cosine of theta plus 1 is equal to 0. So this would turn into cosine of theta is equal to negative 1. So once again, I want to talk about the two solution. So we would do from 0 less than theta less than or equal to 2 pi. So I'm just going to do scrap work here. Cosine of theta is equal to 0 in 2 spots. So at pi over 2 and at 3 pi over 2. So the cosine of 0, theta would equal pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2 if you're literally asked to list them all. Then looking at the negative 1, it would be at pi, and that's the only place cosine's negative in between 0 and 2 pi. So I know not to box off answers, but I just want to specify this would be all the angles between 0 and 2 pi. But if we want all solutions, which is a slightly different way to ask the question, we have to pick some intervals. So we got pi over 2, but that's absorbed here pi later, and it would constantly repeat every pi. So we would pick one of these two. I usually pick the smallest. I would say theta is equal to pi over 2 plus pi n, because that pi is going to absorb the next one. However, for the other piece, since that's the only one between 0 and 2 pi, this would be at pi, but since a full circle is every 2 pi, this one would recycle at 2 pi n, and then of course you have to define it where n is any integer. And for sake of our sanity, we are, if this is the spring of 2014, wait, not 2014, geez, 2024, we are not going to, I'm not going to put these on your guys' test, but in future years, this will probably be on this test, and there will be a supplemental video to go over this. So yay, we're going to skip 14 and 15 and move on to question 16. So in order to do these questions, and I've starred the ones that would be calculator active on your test, you need to... Hey, what's up? Oh, that's cool.
I got out there early to go to Chelsea, so...
Have fun. Today's lesson is actually not that bad.
Okay. I'll be back in.
It doesn't get bad to the rest of this year. It's just a lot of memorization. Hate memorization. And I just realized I'm still recording this, so I'm glad I didn't cuss. Okay. Alright guys, now it's time to do the calculator ones. So, since these numbers don't nicely match the unit circle, I'm just going to go ahead and be kind of lazy. I'm going to set all three of these up, and then we're going to talk about how you would type them in the calculator. So for cosecant, we're just going to type in 1 over the sine of 1.84. To do secant, we will type in 1 divided by the cosine of 3 pi over 5. And to do cotangent, I'm just going to take the lazy way out and do 1 over the tangent of 4 pi over 9. And there's really no other way to do this but to type them in a calculator. So, alright. So, be 1 divided by, and then I'll put in the sign of 1.84. We go 3 decimal places, so this could be 1.037. And that's our answer, but I'm trying to get used to arrows. Now let's do the next piece. 1 divided by the cosine of 3 pi divided by 5. Negative 3.236. Negative 3.236. And then with the cotangent, where's it at? Over here. 1 divided by the tangent of 4 pi divided by 9. And we would end up with 0.1763. Hold on. No, I had it right. 0.176. I think I went too far, but there we go. Also, you could have done this as doing the cosine of 4 pi divided by 9 divided by the sine of 4 pi divided by 9. Please be the same answer. And you get the same answer. So you can still do cosine over sine. But anyways, there's through 21. Whatever was the problem, we started in the section. Enjoy.